Hello and welcome to this edition of Conversation. I'm your host, Dave Heisey, and we have three freshmen sitting on this edition of Conversation today as we talk about the ninth grade experience at Scotch Plains Fanwood High School. The course selection process for all students, including 8th graders at the middle schools, has soon begun, and we're going to spend some time talking with these freshman students about their experience thus far as freshmen. The audience for this show primarily would be 8th graders and the parents of 8th graders as they prepare to come to the high school. Before we begin the show, I would like to introduce our three guests. We'll start with Justine Brown, who's sitting to my right. Justine.
Hello.
Sitting next to Justine is Justin Hensel. And then to my left is Andrew Lipstein. So first thing I'd like to do is welcome all three of you and thank you for being willing to sit on the show today. First thing I'd like to do is just ask you just a real general question, and I'll start with Justine, and that is, why don't you tell the audience and myself and the guests here today how your freshman year is going so far? You know, we're just about halfway done, and I'd just like to know how things are going.
Well, it's been a really speedy year, actually. It went kind of fast. It was kind of rocky at first, but once you get the adjustment and you get the idea of what's going on, it really is rather easy. You just got to come in and work hard. That's pretty much what's happening.
All right, great. Justine, thanks. Justin, how about you?
Just about what Justine said. It's like, it's been good. There's been a lot of things to join and everything, and I'm having a lot of fun. There's a lot more responsibility than middle school, and I like it a lot better.
Okay, all right. Andrew.
I agree with Justine. It seems like the year just started, and like the academics are hard, but you see a lot of your friends, and it's really fun experience.
Okay. All right. Just out of curiosity, which middle schools are the three of you from?
Park.
Park.
I'm from Terrell.
You're from Terrell. Okay. One thing when I met with 8th graders last year, and I met with you a couple times. I came over to the middle schools. I was at your 8th grade recognition program. We met in August. Each time I spoke with you, I emphasized the importance of getting involved. Obviously, the academics are very important, but also getting involved can certainly enhance your high school experience. And so what I'm going to ask each one of you is to tell us some of the clubs, organizations, activities, sports, whatever that you're involved with, and then maybe pick one of them and share with the audience what being involved in that activity entails. So maybe mention some of the things that you do as a freshman, and because again you've been here just for half the year, but I know all three of you are very involved in different organizations. So I'm going to start with Justin. Maybe list some of the things that you're involved with, and then maybe talk about one of them.
I'm involved with, you could pick electives, and I'm involved with TV arts, which is like what you see on TV, sometimes news, and the sports organization is really good. I basically want to talk about the sports organization. I'm doing football and baseball, and if you do them, they get you like the help that you need and whatever you want to excel in, and it's a good organization.
So you're on the freshman football team?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Which your season's just about done, or it's already
it's finished, but
nice.
Yeah, it's a good season.
Right. And then you'll play baseball as a spring sport. You'll play baseball in the spring.
Yep.
All right. Andrew.
I'm involved. I went to a few meetings of Muse, which is a literary magazine. I went to a few meetings of SMAC. But what I'm going to talk about is JSA. It's a group around like arguing and debating about like topics that are in the news. And me and my friends, we started going there since like the beginning of school, and it's a lot of fun because you can really either participate or just listen in.
Right. And JSA stands for?
Junior Statesmen of America.
Junior Statesmen Association, right?
Association.
Exactly. And it is a very. I've attended some JSA meetings in the past, and I'm curious to know what are some of the issues that you talk about.
We talked about should countries have to tell the United Nations before they go into other countries, things like that. Also, should like cross burnings be legal? Just very controversial issues that people have different sides on.
Right. And then you have members of each group that take sides and you debate
Right.
the issue.
Well, there's one speaker for each side, and then after that speaker, there's if other people want to talk, they can raise their hand, they go up and talk.
Okay. Sounds interesting. Justine, how about you?
Well, right now I'm in basketball and I'm freshman class president, so that can be pretty busy. But I was also involved in marching band, which took up most of my year thus far. It's over at this point, but we started in the summer, and there's like a marching band camp that lasts for a few weeks, and you basically come to the high school during the summer and you practice music and you learn new songs, you meet new people. That's probably one of the best things about it. And you practice and you compete in competitions. You play at the football games, so whenever visitors come and see the football games, that's us, the marching band, playing in the stands. And it's a really fun and just nice organization, however you want to really name it, because you get to meet a lot of new people, meet new friends, and it's just fun, and it's a good experience, learning experience.
Band camp, maybe that was a great experience. Am I correct? A lot of work, great deal of time, but also a lot of fun. Right?
It was fun. It was when it came down to cramming time, some of the fun seemed like it was diminishing. But when you think about it and you look back, you have some good memories of just like when it was like 80 degrees and you were just out there on the field marching and playing. But then it was well worth it when we ended up being like third in our state.
You're right. Our marching band is outstanding. They're very competitive, and so okay, great. It's great that all three of you are involved. A question that's often asked of me, of parents especially, is how will my son or daughter know what organizations to get involved with? They're concerned that there's so many organizations. How will my son or daughter know which one to pick? Maybe one of you can jump in and help me answer that question when it's asked of me again. I mean, there are a number of ways you can get involved in organizations, but how do you know to go to a SMAC meeting? JSA? How do you do that?
Well, in the morning there's announcements, and usually they say like SMAC meeting, mandatory SMAC meeting Wednesday, and they say the time and things like that. So you can go and then just sign up.
Okay.
And just go every week or whenever you can.
So listening to the announcements.
Right.
SMAC, by the way, is Student Movement Against Cancer.
Right.
Right. Okay. Anyone else?
Usually a lot of people that might be in it, especially upperclassmen, sometimes when there's different meetings, they'll always advertise it almost in the sense like saying, oh, you should try coming to a SMAC meeting and just at least try it and see what it's about. Maybe you'll really enjoy it. And it's kind of like word of mouth is sometimes a good way you'll learn about things too. And there's signs in the hallways and other different forms of communication.
Okay, good. Kind of going to the academic realm now and the course selection process, which you're going through, or you will be very soon for your sophomore year. 8th graders are going through it for their freshman year. And I guess the question I have for you, and we'll start with Andrew this time, is are there any courses, now the freshman schedule is pretty well set for the most part. Everyone takes English 1. World history, world cultures. And so, as far as the core areas are concerned, it's pretty well set. There are levels, of course, but the courses that they need to take are for the most part predetermined. But there are a number of electives that a student could take. I would just ask you any advice that you could give an 8th grader regarding course selection, regarding courses that they take, courses that you're involved with right now that you really enjoy, anything like that.
Well, if you play an instrument and you want to pursue that, and maybe play some music, and your friends take an instrument or not, you can join band. And a lot of my friends are in that. You meet new people in band, you can play music. It gets harder and the music gets more interesting as you go along different grades. So I think that's a fun course.
And you can branch off too in terms of the music program, in terms of the concert band, and not only the instrumental but also the vocal component of the music program. Okay. So that meets during the course of the day, as well as certain organizations meet before school as well, like the Moonglowers. They get up very early and are here early in the morning. Okay. Justine?
I agree with Andrew because band is like it's fun, and you not only meet new people, but it tests you in a sense, because if you've been playing music for a long time, it's like you see the change in the level, but sometimes it's worth it, especially if you want to pursue a music career. And it's just fun, and it's just a good thing, just a good learning experience, and just an overall good activity. And there's wind ensemble, moon glowers, things to audition for, which really challenge you and get you some new ideas, basically.
Right. And if you're involved in the music program, you also, we're doing Footloose this year for a musical. And so a number of our students that are involved in the music program are also involved in Footloose, both the music as well as the performance. You don't necessarily have to be a musician, but a performing artist as well. And Justin, any, maybe you can just fill us in on the course selection process and some recommendations you can give for 8th graders in terms of some of the courses that you might be in.
Yeah, I don't do a band or what like these two do, but I like singing, so I got into the chorus program in the 2nd semester, and I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. A lot of my friends who take it like it, and I went to the concert last semester, the winter concert, and it was really enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to being on stage and doing that, and I'm looking forward to seeing the play Footloose that we're putting on. And so basically, if whatever you want, there's a space for it in the high school, like, so there's nothing to really be worried for. So you just do whatever you like, there's something for. So.
And there's a large number of students involved in the music program.
Yeah,
When you see the number of students involved in the chorus, it's a very large number. So, okay. We'll begin to wrap things up, and I'm going to end with another general question, as I began with a general question. That is, obviously you know more now, experientially. You've experienced half of the freshman year. A year ago at this time, you were an 8th grader. I'm sure you had some anxiety regarding the high school, and I'm sure you may, been told things about the high school. Some were true, some were not. Maybe you can share with any 8th graders out there, give them any advice that, based on what you know now, what you didn't know then. What advice would you give an 8th grader? We'll start with you, Justine.
Well, basically, I know when I was an 8th grader, I know I'm like a studious student and I like to work hard, but when I was actually in 8th grade, I thought it would be hard, and I was really scared for a moment. But then once I actually got here, it was tough. The adjustment was tough, but you can't slack off. You can't just think that it's going to be a breeze. You have to step up to the plate, and you can't just lay back and say, well, oh, it's going to be easy. It's the teachers that don't care. They're always on top of you, and you have to stay on top of your work. And there's really no break, but you just have to stick with it. And it pays off. It really does in the end.
Okay. So the key is hard work. Just, continually working hard. Okay, good. Justin.
Basically, I've heard a lot of good things, a lot of positive things, a lot of negative things, but a lot of the negative things were wrong. Like, some people just try and scare you, but you shouldn't be scared about the high school, because it's a little rocky at first. Like, you might want to know where your classes are, and you start to get a little scared and stuff. But after the first week or 2 days even, you get the hang of it, and you don't have to worry about everything. And that's basically it. I realize there are a lot more opportunities here than middle school, so it's pretty easy to get used to at first.
Getting used to the big building is a major adjustment. On back to school night, I know the most common response I get from parents is, this is a huge building. I can't believe my son or daughter walks this far each and every day, and that alone is a valuable experience to show that this is a big place. And then you came in, your freshman class came in under construction as well, so there were even more barriers, if you will, that you had to walk around, so to get from one place to the other. All right, Andrew.
My advice would be to not worry, because I worried a lot in the summer and a lot at the end of 8th grade what it was going to be like, because like those two said, I heard a lot of bad things from my friends and other things, and how it's so big. But really, after a week, I was adjusted, and I liked it better than middle school, because there's a lot more responsibility, a lot more freedom to do things. So just don't worry, and you'll be fine. I also work hard.
Okay, yeah, definitely. All right, good. Well, we're going to begin to wrap things up, and I want to once again thank you for being part of this show, and thank the audience. I hope you've gained some insight into the freshman year and what the 9th grade experience is all about. For Conversation, this is Dave Heisey. Thank you for watching.